Hello and welcome everybody, this is Jess. So today I'm actually going to do a 100% completely blind kind of walkthrough highlight of this new game Dust and Salt. Now the only thing that I've done thus far is just adjust the options, which apparently we've only got audio and music and some text options. So I have just adjusted those a little bit and I wanted to just jump right in, give you kind of a first impression here as I see it. Like I said, I really don't know much of anything at all about this game. I've seen a few clips here and there, so I thought it would be kind of interesting just to jump in and see what happens. So, okay. Trees like grim, angry giants frozen in the midst of a timeless dispute. Their naked branches reach like crooked arms for the gray autumn sky. The bleak silence is disturbed by approaching steps. A boy, no more than 10 years of age, wandering with the wolf fur, and a man, shouldered and deep of chest, with bare fur layered over his armor. Both of the nameless people, you and your father. Okay. Your journey to becoming a warrior is about to begin. This is what your father said earlier when he took you to the thick woods near your village. As you and your father advance in the forest, you come to the edge of a big pit once used for hunting animals. You notice that on both sides of the pit, the woods are thick and there is dense briar undergrowth. Your only way seems to be along the thin edge between the pit and the walls and prickly shrubs. Your father reaches for your hand. You know what? It sounds like we are about to become a warrior. We are 10 years old. Let's go ahead and avoid his hand. I think that's normally what it would do. If you want to be a warrior, you should manage alone. He grasps your hand nevertheless and leads you around the pit with quick, sure steps. Once on the other side, he gives you his axe and tells you to ram its blade into the nearest tree. Since you desire to do everything by yourself, he adds with a frown, you lift the axe. Okay, what now? The blow makes you lose your balance and you almost fall over. Your father smiles to show you how to keep balance when striking with an axe. This, he points out, is a yew tree. You will make your first bow out of it. You reach for the axe. Not now. First, I want to show you something else. Let's go. You leave the axe rammed in the tree trunk and follow him. All right. Deeper into the woods, your father suddenly grabs you by the shoulder. You can't always rely on your eyes. Close them and listen. What do you hear? You close your eyes only to be surrounded by darkness thicker than in the forest. You cannot hear anything besides the pounding of your own heart. But then, a deep, low monotony is coming from a thick bush under the trees in front of you. I say it's an animal. A hidden animal. Your father seems pleased with your answer. He leads you further into the darkness and something in front of you runs off, angrily. Wild boars. Okay, your father shows you where the animals were hiding under the thick bush where the darkness is complete. Sometimes the eyes don't tell the truth, he says, while touching the dead eye of a bear head adorning his helm. Well, yeah. All right, so where are we now? You reach the end of the path. The view makes you gasp, your eyes wide with awe. A broad meadow and a small lake are revealed before you, surrounded by high trees covered in thousands of yellow, red, and brown leaves. Although winter is coming, for some reason their branches are not naked yet. Look closer. Your father touches your arm. Your eyes are deceiving you. You squint. The wind blows and the leaves flap like countless small wings dreaming of their first flight. It can't be. The leaves are actually butterflies, thousands of them. The king's butterfly travels each autumn from the north to the south, your father explains. Its children often eat away where crops or plants have been left in the fields and vanish before the first day of winter. Why is it called king's butterfly? You ask with curiosity. The big bear-covered man thinks a moment and adds, because it was born with a crown on its wings. All right, so we've got butterflies and a hidden boar. Father frowns as he hears steps approaching from the other side. He takes out his knife. A few moments later, soldiers appear out of the trees. The bear's arms are shields. One of them, bearing a red sun on his chest, steps forward and says, "We are here to collect the new tax from Merc, barbarian." Oh. We have already paid our taxes. A cart full of our finest animal furs was sent full moon ago. What do you want now? Not much, grins the soldier. For starters, every family of the Nameless must give us their firstborn son. Mark needs a bigger army. Is this child yours? Your father freezes. He hesitates a moment, but this is enough. Take the child, says one of the soldiers, pointing at you, and the rest draw their weapons. Well, maybe we're close to that tree. Run, your father pushes you to the side and plunges into the fight. Oof, his knife quickly cuts the throat of a soldier with a red sun. Blood gushing from the wound splatters on your father's face. Before the rest could act, the bear-shaped figure is amongst them, striking left and right with his giant fists like warhammers. Your father is one of the greatest warriors of your people, but armed only with a knife against so many opponents, he has no chance. Soon he's wounded heavily and falls to the ground. Let's see, let's try to help him. You grab your father's knife from the ground and sink it into the soldier's thigh. With a shout of pain, he turns and strikes with his sword. The cold steel cuts your shoulder badly. You scream, maddening agony. He raises the sword once again to finish you off. Oh, shoot. Okay, I lost a life point. Maybe that wasn't the best decision, right? Before the final blow, your father, just in front of the blade, sinks deep into his chest. He falls to the ground, his cold blue eyes fixed on you. Your stomach clenches into a knot and your lungs struggle for air. Was this your fault? Do you deserve to face your father's fate by his side? No, you must live. You will not let your father's death be in vain. Legs moving as if on their own accord, you turn and run. Oh, shoot. So we got 1 life point lost and father is now gone. Let's see, you run for your life, startled butterflies twitching their wings and flutter off. They fill the air with thousands of yellow and red colors, covering the escape. Several arrows fly past before disappearing into the woods. In the darkness under the trees, you run until you are completely exhausted. Then steps and shouting behind you. You must hide somewhere. You look around. This place looks familiar. Let's see. I don't think they're going to be stupid enough to not see you hiding just behind a rock. And I'm not really convinced that laying on the ground and covering yourself is going to work. So let's try the bush. The trees let only the thinnest slivers of sunlight through. When in the bush, you were almost invisible. Okay, good choice. With a trembling heart, you try to suppress every noise, even your breathing. You hear steps approaching. Through the bush, you see the soldiers' boots. They argue and disperse and continue their search. Okay. All right, so we're not dead yet. You don't hear the soldiers anymore, so you come out of your concealment and run to your father had left his axe. There we go. Okay. Just as you pull it out of the trunk, there's a shout behind your back. One of the soldiers has seen you. Crap. You have to get to the other side of the trapping pit you and your father went past earlier. All right, let's see. I don't think I want to jump over it because I get the feeling we're probably going to get injured. Run to the right where the woods are thicker and try to lose the soldiers. Let's just go back the way we came because it sounds like that's going to be safe. You prepare to go around. All right. Yeah, I don't want to lose any more health, so let's scamper along the edge, watch your steps. All right. You are almost on the other side of the pit when you hear a scream and a loud thud. You turn around and see that one of the soldiers has slipped and fallen off the edge into the pit. His body now crumpled in a twisted shape at the bottom. Woohoo! All right, okay. You escape your pursuers. Behind your back, dark and ominous smoke is rising from the nameless forest where your village is. The soldiers do not leave unpunished. All right, well, that's ominous for the future, huh? Later this day, you're already far away from your home when you stumble upon a camp of a raiding party of lowbrows. Your people hate the lowbrow tribe. You've overheard stories of how they pillaged your lands. You sneak closer to see 2 of them guarding 3 captives. A huge one-eyed man with muscles that pop out like ship ropes from the countless efforts of his ties. A smaller man with dark skin and bright clothes, all covered in dirt, and a woman as beautiful as you've ever seen before. One of the guards approaches the woman. He starts whispering something in her ear. The other guard sitting on the ground with his back turned to you. Well, attack him and try rescuing the 3 travelers. I am a 10-year-old boy, and there are a few of them. I don't know, obviously, I don't know if these captives, how they're gonna act, so let's go ahead and just leave. You silently step away and walk another direction from the potential troubles. This shapes your future life. Trying to stay out of trouble becomes your purpose. Years later, you find a wife with whom you have 2 children. You even manage to build a small house in the north, working as a merchant. An unfortunate end to your adventure. That is pretty cool. All right. Okay, so I get the gist here. All right, so it kind of wants you to, or with this warrior. Okay. Let's go through this one more time. Let's do this again. We're going to avoid his hand. All right, axe in the tree. Let's see. We know it's a hidden animal. Okay. All right, here they are. Now we're still, let's see. Wonder what happens if we run this time instead of trying to help him. Startled, the butterflies twitch their wings and flutter off. They fill the air with thousands of yellow anchors covering the escape. Okay, that's sort of the same. All right, we're still going to go ahead and hide in a bush. All right, so hopefully if the outcome is the same, let's go ahead and try that. All right, we got him again. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Let's go ahead and attack. All right, you remember how your father taught you to hold the axe. Assume the proper stance and land the blow. The blade cuts directly into the lowbrow's neck, spraying a gush of blood. He falls immediately to the ground, not being able to produce even a scream. The woman sees you and says something to the other lowbrow, trying to retain his attention. You quickly cut the rope with hands that the huge one-eyed man are tied. He promptly takes care of the remaining lowbrow and frees the rest of the captives. Sneaking away from the lowbrow camp and running for as long as you can, you and the former captives stop for a brief rest. They tell you their names. The one-eyed giant is Ragnar from North Blaze, the dark-skinned man is Abbas from the Outremer, and the woman only tells you her name Nan. We owe you our lives and freedom. Those lowbrows would have sold us to slaves. To repay our debt, I suggest we take you home to your parents. We will give you some gold as a token for the gratitude. Okay, so father's dead now. They watch you in silence, a brief moment of consideration, and you continue. If you really want to repay the debt, you can help me. My father was murdered and my home burned by soldiers and as you are my witness, I swear I will dedicate my life to destroying Guinness High Lords who brought this upon my home. If you say you owe me your lives and freedom, I urge you pledge your lives to my service until we destroy the snake pit of a city, and I will consider your debt then repaid. All right. Silence is their only answer. What are the chances that 3 adults pledge their service to a boy? What were you thinking when you proposed this? You shake your head and walk away, ready to travel alone, when suddenly Nan says, "What is your name?" Without hesitation, you turn and reply, "Wayward from the nameless people." Okay. All right. Click on any location flags on the map to move your hero to that location and continue your adventure. Okay. All right. So this looks... All right, so we've got some tents here. Looks like the little village, a larger city. Let's move out here. Wow, okay, so this is obviously going to be an ominous, dark place. Looks like that's about, I can go there. All right, we've got some snow. Where do we want to go? Let's see, how about here? Let's zoom in a little bit. What is up at the statue, maybe? All right, one day the ruins of the Sword Council, a small staging post between North Blaze and Discord, which also doubles as a slave market. In front of you, there's a roughly hammered together platform where slaves are auctioned first. Ragnar puts pats you on the shoulder, excuse me, as if to express his gratitude. I am going to wet my whistle on here, your big states. What do? Whatever you wish. Just don't forget to keep your axe where it is, on your back. The punishment for drawing your weapon here is a whipping. Here at the ruins, the rich merchants who organize slave markets and mercenaries prefer to close deals without bloodshed. Their guards don't show mercy to those who break the rules. I promise I'll be careful, you say and look away, wondering where to go next. Let's try the inn. You enter the tavern, tagging along after Ragnar. The giant of Northblaze slams his fist onto the bar and orders a beer. Goes to the back of the tavern, probably to answer the call of nature. The plenty of noises are unbearable, and you decide to wait outside. Someone is shouting, huh? Hey, nitwit, says a rough voice behind you. You turn around and see that 3 boys who appear to be older than you. They hold their hands folded in front of their chests with the looks of contempt in their faces. At the ruins, nitwits pay a fee. Give us your money and you can stay. Don't, we'll beat the living daylights out of you. And then you'll still give us everything you've got, grins the most massive one of them. The 3 of them standing in front of you, ready to pounce at any moment. No, you're not going to take it. Okay, let's see. Let's take a quick look around. Crowd in the wall that goes around the ruins. Let's see. What's the crowd gonna do? Let's see, what's the wall got? Close to the tavern, there's a high wall that surrounds the ruins. If you can climb it and go down one of the trees, you can escape the 3 boys. Okay, let's do something here. What do we want to do? Let's see if we can maybe threaten them. Come at me if you dare. The first one who takes a step forward says goodbye to his head. The 3 of them hesitate each other. You decide to give a menacing swing to show that you're serious. You raise your axe above your head and oops, there's the guards, right? Yep, boy, he says, drawing your weapon in the ruins as a severe punishment. Behind him, several more guards charged with the rules show up. Okay. The guard still hasn't let go of your axe. He pulls it out of the numb hands and says, no mercy for breaking the you won yourself 10 lashes. Oh, okay. All right, so the slave auction ends. It's time for the crowd's next entertainment, your punishment. They announce your name and then lash you 10 times while the gathered spectators shout approvingly. Oh, great. So you remember the humiliation for years to come, long after the day you hear the mocking of the crowd and the sounds of the whip that Ragnar and none who are forced to watch it all, unable to do anything. All right, so now I'm at -1 glory. We don't know what this one is yet. 10 life. All right, so I think we're okay so far. Well, looks like we've only got one place to go, and that's training. Put you through exhausting training exercises, help you develop your body's abilities. All right, your strength and speed improve. All right, so now we've got agility. All right, I wonder, where does that show? Okay, adventure sheet, I'm going to assume. Okay, there we go. Let's see what's here. Nothing yet. All right. Weapons choice. Sounds promising. I'll teach you to fight so well you will defeat every opponent you face. I will show you how to swing 2 weapons at the same time. Right on. Okay. You want to keep your father's axe by any means. Careful look and let you keep it. He insists, however, that you choose 1 more. All right. I'm cool with that. Yep. I can do 2. All right. As well as one of the weapons below. Consider carefully. So we've got an axe. I don't know that a dagger would be a great... how about a... Ooh, I don't know. A sword might be interesting. Let's just see what that one's... Okay. Growing up. All right, you cannot wait to finish your training. For the most part, your small companies spend their time eking out a living as caretakers. a job that gives you indispensable experience and knowledge of the places and inhabitants of the Sinlands. Yet, after all these years, you still haven't settled on a decisive course of action that would allow you to accomplish your goal, killing the 7 High Lords and destroying the city of Merk. Nevertheless, you're sure this day will soon come. All right. You have discussed many different topics. You have never really time to study the disciplines that they can teach you. Okay. So disciplines. A trading wagon that travels between the barbarian settlements in the north and the city of Weep in the south arrives in a small town at the foot of the northern mountains. Having found a temporary respite from the guard duties, invite you to go for a walk outside the town walls. I can see where this is going. You walk in silence, snow creaking under your feet. All right, large rock whose surface is jagged and distorted. How do you think this happened? Well, it looks like we're kind of in the mountains here. I'm going to say man-made, though. Let's just see what that has to hold. Nope, human hands could have done this. It's definitely a work of nature, but what natural force could have cracked the rock? You squint your eyes and examine the rock. Indeed, you can see a crack as if there was an inside struggling to get out, causing the rock to crack. I'm going to say water. How did you know? That was not an easy question. That is indeed the reason. When water gets into the fissures of the rock's surface and freezes, it expands, causing the crack. All right. I'm just going to, I think, go through this training. I'm assuming I'll probably have this one and, oh, hey, new skill science. Knowledge he possesses is enormous, and at the speed at which you absorb everything you hear, read, and see is remarkable. He's extremely pleased with your progress. All right, so now I've got science. I'm interested to see what we're going to do with these. Okay, so it doesn't look like I can go anywhere else except the caravan here. A cold night standing watch over the Salt caravan, you and Nun are sitting by the campfire, quietly talking with one another. Ragnar and Abbas are long asleep, tired from the long travel. You hear snoring of the other passengers, and occasionally one of the donkeys neighs quietly in his sleep. The soothing lap of waves against the shore comes to you, and the air is full of salty scent of sea. Tell me more about Merk, you ask Nun. She stares at the sparks from the fire dancing in the night. When she answers, her voice is softer than usual. What do you want to know? Let's see. Let's just start with the top one here. I want to get a little bit more information on these guys. The real names of the High Lords have fallen into oblivion. All right. The crowns have been passed on from father to son within the 7 houses, and people have always obeyed the orders coming from them. All right. The 7 turned their greedy eyes to their neighboring lands and waged war. All right. Imposing their power on the surrounding tribes and peoples, they still wanted more. They began taking small children from the conquered lands, training them to serve him. That's great. The dark regiments were created. Armies of Merk attacked lands further and further from their own, and the power of the city continued to grow. All right, let's see why they need 7. Power of the old laws and traditions are to decide the fate of the city together, or has been transmitted by bloodline for centuries, and no one has been able to cease that. Because the souls of mankind are darker than the blackest night, in time the 7 High Lords grew swollen with pride over their power getting from the divine gifts that once pulled the people out of darkness. They became proud and unyielding, cruel and without mercy in their hearts. They stopped being their towers except to meet other rulers and each other. They could not stand the mortal eyes of commoners to defile their divine visages. Yeah. They also grew suspicious of each other, and so each of them had its own soldiers, apart from the city watch and the army of Merk. Jeez. The brain fires skull, throwing a swarm of sparks. Merk has become a city governed by hard-hearted rulers, far off from their subjects. It is one of the most powerful, but one of the most hated cities in the West Rim, and its strength reaches even some of the Northlands. Every nation, every tribe, and every ruler in these parts, full of hate. Yeah, I imagine. All right. We are going to conquer it, right? If all the hate accumulated against Merc is unleashed, dust and ashes will be the only thing to remain of this city. Nan rubs her eyes, tired of staring at the campfire, and looks at you through the dancing flames. And rightly so. After all the blood we have shed, I can say that we have earned nothing more than dust and ashes. All right, so I'm going to say that is all for now. You silently consider all the things that you and Nan have talked about. In the last few years of your short life have made you extremely mature for your age. Your goals would not to carry the burden you have shouldered, but you are confident that you will do well. Let's see. After all, I was born in Merc, and you want to raze it to the ground. How do I know I didn't lie when I swore to help you seek revenge? In fact, how do you know I won't kill you right now? Why would you wait? Good question, right? If you really wanted to protect Merc, I would have killed you when you first met. Always look for motives behind a person's actions. Is that person good to you? What beliefs could this bring them? Are they attacking you? Are they using their sword or their words? And again, why are they doing that? How could they benefit from it? All right. So we've got a little bit of background. I'm kind of interested to see where this is going to go. I get the feeling that there's quite a bit of depth behind all of this. Right now, I kind of just wanted to get a quick look, kind of see what this was all about. I think we've got a good feel of it. Like I said, I'm really interested to see kind of how this develops. So we've got this character sheet now. You know, we've got 2 weapons. We do have that -1 glory, but we're still at full health. Looks like so we're going to get troops, 1 additional skill, and then let's see how these pages fill up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I would love to hear some comments. I want to see what I can find out about the game, maybe its makers, etc. Kind of see where they plan to go from here, what stages they're in development. And I'd like to maybe come back to this at some point. If you guys think that you want to see more, please let me know. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And I think this will do it for today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this first look at a fantastic new game. Guys, take care. Enjoy the day.